Well, lost my signal there. They just got Cameron down off of the platform to come over and eat.
Got him.
Devin had to phone a friend.
Oh.
After the rescue. I'll take it.
Alright, good luck with that. I'm gonna go deal with my office.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah. I'll see you afterwards.
Yes, I'll come meet you later on.
And then I have everything she needs.
Mr. Candy Cam.
Thank you for posting that link to Cameron's bio. Well, unfortunately, if there's a bird in vacation rotation, it's sapphires now, because she's not going to let us go in there and take it. Hey, Suzanne, isn't it? Watching from Spain. How about that, Robina?
On that side, dude. Stay right there.
Keep your face by the wire. I just flew back in from our lovely city, New York City. It was a Facebook social good forum. They did this in 2016, I'm told. I didn't know about it back then. But this year it was by invitation only, and they only invited, I'm thinking, about maybe 400 nonprofits, judging by what was in the room. And it was amazing. I sat on the front row. I was probably 12 feet from Mark Zuckerberg for his 20-minute talk. And what he was doing was telling the nonprofits about some of the new things that Facebook is rolling out for the community good. And I actually broke into tears when he told us that whenever people donate on Facebook now, he's going to waive all of the credit card processing fees and Facebook fees so that 100% of the donations go to the charity. And he's going to match the donations annually up to $50 million. $50 million. I was reading a book on the way to this event, and it's called something like Move Fast and Break Things, talking about Google and Facebook and Amazon, what they have in common. And one of the things that the author pointed out was the one thing they don't have in common is how philanthropic Mark Zuckerberg has been, and how he has really put his money where his mouth is when it comes to doing wonderful things for charitable causes. So I'm very happy that whenever you donate on Facebook, it's not going to cost you anything in processing fees, and it won't cost us anything in processing fees, and that there'll be some matching available. I don't know how that matching is going to work. You know, if you were helping us out yesterday on GivingTuesday, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation put up $2 million. I said $20 million before the event. I was wrong. It was $2 million that they were going to match. But I don't know. And with them, we had to limit the match to $1,000 for each of our broadcasts. So we had to break up the broadcasts throughout the day, and you guys were wonderful about spreading out your donations across the day so that they could be matched. But I don't know how the Facebook match for $50 million is going to work yet, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. And then another thing that he came up with that I thought was pretty clever, you've probably seen it if you've ever been in an area where there was a hurricane or an earthquake, where Facebook will ask you to tick a box saying I'm safe, or click a button saying I'm safe, so that whenever people are looking for you, they will see, if they're friends of yours, that they'll see that your status is that you're safe or that you're not safe. So that was a precursor to what they're doing now, which is whenever there is an event like that, a hurricane or a earthquake or a fire, then people can say, they can choose one of two options. They can say, I need help, or I can give help. And so if they need help, a perfect example of this was a lady talking to us before the event about how she had raised $30,000 on Facebook when she got a call from a friend of hers who was up on the roof of their house during the floods, and they were up there with their 2 dogs and 2 children, I think, and they were up there for 7 hours and nobody was coming to get them. And so this woman, even though she was a friend and lived across the country, started raising money and trying to get somebody out there who could rescue them, and they were finally rescued. So what this app would do is, let's say you're one of those people stuck on the roof of your house, you could say, I live at X address, and it can pick up your GPS coordinates if you allow it to, and I'm stuck on the roof of my the roof of my house. And then anybody who might have a airboat or a canoe or anything else would be able to see that and say, well, I'm only 6 blocks away, I have a boat, I can come get you off the roof of your house. And so I love what this is going to do for people in need, because it crowdsources help right when it's needed and right where it's needed. So I think that's genius. They made some other announcements about blood banking, and apparently India has a real problem with not having enough blood on hand for people who need it. And so they launched this similar type of a thing where you can say, I need blood, or I've got blood, and they can hook you up with the local area that needs it. And like if you have a family member that needs it, well, you can send it out on Facebook and everybody can respond saying, I've got whatever blood type. And so it's hooking up all of that so that people can get the help they need right away. And I think they said something like 40 million people signed up to be blood donors within, like, immediately the launch of this thing. People want to help. I think they just don't know how sometimes. So Facebook is trying to close those gaps. They have another thing that I'm very interested in, and I've asked them to follow up with me, because none of the people that they had at the table, after they had these talks, Mark Zuckerberg talked, and then some of his staff talked about different projects that they're all working on, and then they had like a big room where we could go into the room and we could go to the booth about the type of thing that we were interested in. Oh, another one was suicide and crisis help. You could go to the booth and ask questions, and unfortunately the questions that we had were a little bit too hard for the people that they had manning the booth. But one of the things that Facebook is talking about doing is opening up the API for nonprofits, so that, let's say we had a fundraiser going on our website at bigcatrescue.org, we could add a option for people to give through Facebook and then share on Facebook, and that would all sync together. So it gives more sharing opportunities for people who just will not leave Facebook for love nor money, and gives them the easy way to share that with their friends and family. So that's all good stuff for us too. But I need to know how that works, you know, like how we would sync the back ends of that stuff, which would bore you guys to tears. Okay, Sabu, you can go back out. Or you could just sit there and guard the tunnel. Who is next?
Andre.
Andre Tiger. Yes, those people who were telling you he has no mane because he's neuter are correct. The mane is testosterone driven. we don't breed here. We don't want cats born for life in prison. It's sad enough that these guys can't go free, and it would be illegal, and they'd never survive. You can find out more about that at bigcatrescue.org/go-free. Here's Amanda and her brother Arthur. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, bow, bow. Oh, stay with me. Stay here. Devin's got to shut the door before he gets there. Got to separate Arthur and Andre so that he can feed them. You know the drill, don't you?
Ready? Amazing. Good work, dude.
You're a genius at that. What a good tiger. You all chuffy? You're so chuffy. Hey, Luana.
Hi, bud.
While I got Luana here, one of the things that became really apparent from the conference, the Facebook conference, and the book that I was reading about Facebook, is that Facebook is really wanting to keep people on their platform. They don't want you leaving and going to links. And so I know whenever Luana creates our daily update, okay, when Luana posts our daily update and she posts a link to it, even though she always uses a really good teaser line and she always uses a great image that makes, you know, if I saw it, I'd want to click on it, Facebook just doesn't share that to all of our fans. We've got 2.2 million fans, and yet you look at one of those posts and it might be sent out to 15,000 of those people. So what I'm wondering is, I think it's very important that you keep your content on your own website, because that's the only real estate that you own. But I'm wondering if we could maybe do a test during the month of December to duplicate those pages. So we have it on our website, but we also have it on Facebook. And the page that we put on Facebook won't have any links out. And so I'd be really curious, because it says that that's what causes Facebook not to share a post, is if it links off of Facebook. So I'm wondering, you know, the main things that we talk about as far as the abuses of cub handling and why it's so bad to inbreed cats to get a white coat color, and all of, you know, fur and circuses and all of those kinds of things. We have those pages that Luana has created on Facebook. I don't know if it's possible to like find them and link to them, but I'd like to try duplicating efforts, which is going to be a huge pain in the neck, especially when we're so busy. But I'm really curious as to whether or not more of those posts would be seen if we had it on Facebook with links only to Facebook assets. Thank you, Cindy, but it's not really ads that I'm looking for. I'm looking to actually create a page, just like the daily update. So you'd have a daily update on bigcatrescue.org, but then you'd have to recreate that entire page over on a Facebook note, and all of the images. You know, it's easy to just copy the text and put it over there, but it's a pain in the neck to put the pictures in. You got to do them one by one. So if Luana can even do this, it might be helpful if she has somebody who could like create a folder that has the text and then all of the images in there, so that she could just easily upload all of that. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that more. Gabrielle, there are several hotels close to us because we're only 15 minutes northwest of the Tampa International Airport. The closest one is the Holiday Inn Express on Veterans. A lot of people like to stay at mainsail. It's a little bit higher end. It's more like condos.
Does anyone need a cell tower gate?
What's up? There you go.
Teacher is doing fine. He has discovered tuna fish and likes that a lot.
Try again, turkey drum.
This is Devin. He's a master keeper. He started out as an intern and then fast-tracked up to master keeper level.
What's wrong? Why don't you want this? It's good. It's good, John.
Yes, when you
Yeah?
when you
Tell
neuter them,
everyone.
they lose their mate.
Tell everyone.
Joseph hasn't been neutered. He lives by himself. I think he had a vasectomy too. But it does fall out over time. It doesn't like immediately drop out. It's just over a year and a half. It slowly just doesn't grow back in. As you know, you're always shedding hair. I think Joseph might be a little bit excited because Sapphire's just came into the cage right across from him, the vacation rotation.
Yeah, you're telling everyone you're going to eat?
Suzanne says that they love your videos and they want to see more of them.
Okay.
I didn't know you did videos.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but okay.
Maybe they just want to see more of you feeding cats. I'm not sure what they meant by that.
That's good job. Growling. All right. I'm gonna go to Zeus. I'm gonna go to Zeus, dude. I'm gonna go to Zeus.
I don't see her, Joseph. Oh, they might be talking about Desmond. He uploads a lot of videos. Yeah, it said Desmond.
Where is Zeus
Reese did okay with her dental. She's really, really old. I asked Jamie when I got back how she was doing, and Jamie was going to check on her, but I haven't heard from Jamie yet. Do you know if Breezy ate today?
I'm not sure. I think Catherine was going to go feed her right when I was leaving, so hopefully.
Hey, Zeus. It's very dark here, Zeus. Another thrilling thing at the Facebook conference was one of the panelists that they had was Yujan, what's her last name? Yujan Kim. And she is the main person, I believe, over at the Dodo. And so when I came up to her afterwards and told her who I was, she said, "Oh, we love the Zeus video. It's one of our favorites." So that was nice to hear. actually navy blue can be either staff or it can be master keeper. So Devin's not staff, but he is a master keeper, but it's the same color shirt. Just says something different on the back. None of the staff are paid to work with the cats, so all of the animal care that you see done, regardless of whether it says master keeper or staff or volunteer or whatever it says on the back of their shirt, they're all working in their volunteer capacity. And I absolutely agree with you, and that's why I hope you will take the time to contact your member of Congress at bigcatact.com and ask them to champion the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which would ban the private possession and breeding of these cats. They don't belong in cages, but you can't set them free once they've been born in one.
I'm gonna come on that side, bud.
Zeus is a perfect example of why we need the bill, because he was born at a facility that was USDA inspected, and there was so much animal abuse and neglect there that the woman actually lost her license, and it's almost impossible for USDA to take away somebody's license because the burden of proof is just so ridiculously high. And USDA only inspects once a year, so they never see 99.9% of the abuse that goes on. And they managed to take away her license, and so she just had her daughter get a license. Cats stayed right there in the same crappy cages they were in, getting fed the same roadkill they'd been fed, getting bred to death, getting inbred so that they could create white cats. And it wasn't until the daughter just decided that she had had enough of her mother and refused to renew the license that the state of New York was able to go in and seize the cats. What we noticed is most of the cats had really, really bad eye problems. Like their lenses had completely detached and were floating in the eyeball. So Zeus had a specialist that worked on both of his eyes because they were both badly damaged. And for years, we were able to put the eye drops in that he needed 2 and 3 times a day to keep the eye lubricated, but we didn't want to take it out and take all of his sight away. But here, I don't know, probably a month or so ago, the eyeball actually ruptured, and so that was painful, and nothing we could do to fix that. So it had to be removed. But ever since then, he's actually been doing a whole lot better. So even though he was getting eye drops, I think it was still bothering him a little bit, just by virtue of the fact that he seems so much better now. The eye that is not sewn shut has very, very little vision in it, so he is essentially blind. That was the meds?
That was the meds.
Yay! Took his meds. Yeah, he's got that pool back there. You can see the water coming in from the lake, so it's always being recirculated from the lake. And the cats just love to get in there, get all wet, and then lay in the dirt and make mud. I'm not sure who you saw at Tiger Lake. Currently, Andy and Seth live at Tiger Lake, but Hoover has lived there in the past. Zeus has lived there in the past. Most of the cats have lived there in the past. He's had dental work done. He doesn't have any bad teeth currently, but you can tell that there's been dental work done. He just seems to prefer to take food on the side where he has vision. So I think that's more of what you're seeing. He is right, those white spots are called flashes. Michael, thank you. Sometimes I forget that there are new people on here that don't know the stories of the cats, and so I often don't think to tell their story. Michelle, there's no captive-born big cat who can ever go back to the wild. It's a myth that has been perpetuated by zoos who want you to think that they're breeding these cats for conservation, when in fact it's just because people will pay to come see a cub. These cats are never going to go free. Mitch, the sad thing is that there were never any kind of charges brought against the owners, and almost never are, no matter how horrible the abuse. These guys were literally starving to death. We rescued Zeus and his mother, Kimba, and his sister, Keisha, all from that same facility. And they were just skeletons with fur draped over them. Oh, don't drop it in the dirt. You won't want it. For those who want more information about why these cats can't go free, please go to bigcatrescue.org/go-free. And yeah, they're right. Keisha was both his sister and his daughter because people were inbreeding, because foolish people will pay to see white tigers. And the only way you get white tigers is through severe inbreeding. We are losing our light. My phone is like, I can't focus on the cat anymore. It's in the dark. And her pluck. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to everybody who donated yesterday. That was an awesome day. I think we raised over $67,000. Our goal was at like $64,000. And we think there's going to be about $5,000 in matches from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, so that's really cool. As soon as we get that total number, we'll let you know.